Hey guys, welcome back. Merry Christmas. This is going to be a quick review of this write and roll game, Solitaire, printed off the line. It's called Panzer Dice. It's translated. There's some translation issues, but I was able to figure it out. You should be able to. And it's basically a dice game. The rules are pretty extensive, but a couple pages are just showing you the two. All right, let's. So when you play the game, you're going to have two sheets. You're going to have this sheet here, which is where you keep track of everything on your tank. Much like Ogre, you have treads. You have track A, track B, track C. Track B has less hits, and then once you start taking more hits, you can't even shoot your main cannon. But the other two sides can take more hits. You also have fuel that you expend and ammo that you expend when you fire. This section up here is the what they call the Panzer dice. And you are allowed actually to set them, like these two shoot at A, which is this whole track A. This one shoots in the middle here at B, and these two shoot at this track C. As the player, you can put the dice where you want, but it doesn't really matter. Well, it does matter, but it gets out of hand real quick. And on this map, this is where you track your progress across the map. Now, what you want to do is at the beginning of the game, you roll a d6, and you start in one of these positions here at the bottom. And then you try to make your way up through the map, up to Berlin. But that's silly. You know, you're not going to get to Berlin in a single T-34. But I just imagine it as breaking through the German lines. So each icon on the map means, like, if you end your movement here in a town, you get to roll on a town chart, which is right here, and that will give you extra stuff. It may give you extra ammo. It may give you extra fuel. See, some of this, see, that 6 should be a plus. It should be, if you roll a 1, you get 3 Molotovs plus 2 of those, which I'm not sure what they are, plus 2 fuel. So sometimes there's a 6 where there should be a plus. But if you end your movement here, you get 2 ammo. If you move it there, you get 1. These are landmines. If the number is on the left, it damages the A track, and if the number on the is on the right, it damages the C track. There's fuel in here too. I thought there was a fuel. Oh yeah, up here you get an extra fuel if you get that far. And you can also get these. They call them, what do they call them? Infantry items. As you get them, you know, you can only have 5 of 4 of these, or I think it's 4 or 5, but you can only have 5 of each item, but you can only have, I think, 4 or 5 out of the 6 at any one time. And it tells you below, you know, what they do. They come in handy a lot, big time. And so basically what you want to do is to try to take your tank and make it to the other end of the board. And how do you do that? Well, you roll dice. You start with 6 white dice, or 6 of any color dice, and you roll them. And then you place them here. 2s and 3s are called Panzer dice. 2s and 3s, you as the player put in one of these boxes, which denote where it's going to shoot you on your tank. Then the other numbers that you roll, you put the dice there, and then you resolve each action in order. So if you rolled a 1, it says radio orders, change its result or that of any other die. Well, I would take that 1 and change it to something else I needed. If you rolled a 4, you get to repair your hull by 1, which means you just erase 1 damage. For each additional dice, you get +2. So if you had 2 4s here, you'd get a repair of 3. Fire is shooting at the Panzer dice. When you fire in this game, you're shooting at Panzer dice. Now, Panzer dice are only going to be 2s or 3s. So that's the strength of their attack. If it's a Panzer dice 2 and it's their turn to attack, they're going to do 2 damage to A if they're in this section. When you shoot at a Panzer dice, you reduce it by 1. So if this was a 2 and you shoot and got, there's no roll to hit. You automatically do it. So if it's a 2, it's a 1. It flips down to a 1. So that on the Panzer dice turn, it's only attacking at 1 instead of 2. But you can combine attacks to completely wipe out. Usually I was getting 2s, and I was getting lucky, and I was getting more than 1 5 for my fire. And fire is the same as repair. You get for each other die over the first one, you get +2 damage. So 1 die does 1 damage, 2 die does 3 damage, 3 die would do 5 damage. So, I was wiping out 2s willy-nilly until it got out of hand. And then on a 6 is your movement. So if you roll a 6, you get to move 1 hex on this map from your starting point. And like the other die, each extra 6 gives you an additional 2 movements. So if you roll 2 6s, you could actually move 3. 1, 2, 3, boom. You can move right up into the town, get your town roll, and get some extra stuff. But the game was fun. I was doing a lot of page flipping. Like I said, the rules, here's the front page is just a quick explanation. This goes over the different sheets that you'll use and how to use them. And then it goes into your die rolls, the actions, what each one means. It explains them. All the bombing raids. I didn't go over that. If you have all of these with a die in them, and more die have to go into them through your roll, then you mark off this illusion box and you wipe all the Panzer dice. But the next time that happens, if you have all these filled up and you roll another one and you can't put it, then you roll in the it's the Stuka's turn, and then you lose a bunch of shit. But then you mark the Stuka box, and this one becomes available again. So it goes back and forth. The first time it happens, it's good for you. The second time, it's bad for you. Then it's good, then it's bad. Then it's good, then it's bad. That's how that works. The Panzer dice. So on the Panzer attack turn, you'll have dice up here with either a 2 or a 3 on it. That's the strength of the attack. Then you take 2 other different colored, actually 1 different colored dice than the ones you're using normally, and you roll that die, and whatever number that die comes up on will activate the Panzer dice in there. So I don't have any die handy, but suppose I had a dice here. It doesn't matter the number, but suppose I had a dice here and I rolled the Panzer die and it came up 4. There's a 4 here and a 4 here. So these 2 would activate, but there's no die there. So nothing would happen to me. But if I rolled a 1 or a 2, then whatever number Panzer die I had here would do that much damage to this side of my hull. That's the way that works. Okay, now getting back to the rules, it goes over what you get in the villages. You can repair. You can erase your damages. The second Panzer die. When you get into this gray section of the map, whenever the Panzer die attack you, they roll 2 die instead of 1. So it could come up a 2 and a 3. And if there was dice in both of these, both of them would do damage. So it gets a lot harder up here in these grayed out areas up here. But normally in all the white sections, you'd only roll one Panzer die. And then it goes over to the end of the game. You either reach a hex with a flag without being destroyed, which are the ones way back here on this far edge, or when the damage of your T-34 is 0, your tank's destroyed and you lose the game. But there's a way to calculate a score so you can try to beat your best score. There's a way here, it talks about the difficulty levels. I guess you can adjust difficulty levels. And then there's a little short section about scenarios. I didn't even read this page. I just dug right in and started playing. And it was pretty fun. I made it pretty far. I actually started here, and I used these towns to my advantage. I made it to about right here, and then I got wiped out. Things get out of hand real quick. When you're rolling 2s and 3s, and all these are getting filled up, and you ain't got much to do. I mean, there's a lot of luck in the game, I guess. I'm trying to say with the die rolling, but there's also a lot of ways to mitigate that. I mean, there's a lot. Going to towns will give you items that you can use if you don't get like a lot of 5s for fire. A lot of these items you can use on your turn to also reduce the Panzer die. There's you can repair. You can try to get 4s. If you roll a 1, you can change the 1 to a 4. There's ways to repair. So I mean, it was a pretty fun game. I didn't like it as much as the first roll and write game I reviewed, One Page World War II, I think it was called. I liked that one a bit better, but this one was okay. It was pretty fun. So give it a shot if you like these kind of games. It's called Panzer Dice. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and have a Merry Christmas.